Alrighty. We are live in Stain. Sunday preview early this week. Now, again, if you're tuning into this either right now or you're tuning into this later, you come back to this video to see the preview that I'm going to go over. I'm just going to go over pretty much every single game here on Underdog. Talk about who I think could win, spreads, all that sort of fun shit. Mainly the player props here today. But if you're coming back to this video, the reason we're doing it early, comparatively, we normally do these videos Sunday, 11 o'clock on the dot every single Sunday. But again, there's a 9:30 game, which is the first game that is right in front of us here. Jets, Minnesota, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time as we, BDG, are in New York City. So for us, that's really early. So we also didn't want to stream at like 9 something or like earlier than that because a lot of people are on still West Coast time. What's going on, Hav? Still on West Coast time. So if we're on West Coast time and we start streaming at like 6 a.m., no one's really going to watch. So for us, it was more beneficial to do a stream like this where it's just me pretty much. And I yap about all my plays and all the plays I like for today's slate. That's pretty much how we're going to go over everything here. And we're going to rock with that and roll with the slate for today on Underdog. We're going to go over every game. We're going to touch on everything. And if you guys have questions on the plays, this is going to be more in-depth for you guys as well, because normally we come on the couch, we just kind of yap about shit to each other, and we don't really like interact with chat, where in this one, we're going to be doing a lot more interacting with you guys. By we, I mean I am. So if you guys have questions, you can holler. All right, starting with the Jets-Minnesota game. I don't have many plays in this game, as I just don't really love the spots. But if I were to lean any sort of prediction here, also first prediction per usual. Also, we can log on to I'm not on FanDuel yet right now. We can definitely do that, even though technically I'm not supposed to be on FanDuel on stream, but fuck it. We'll look at lines. We also need to get our minus 500 bet. Me, Tony, and JMO are doing minus 500 bets all the way until we get to 23K. Thoughts? All it takes is 30 days. All it takes is 30 Sundays. 30 games till we're at 23K, because we're just not going to miss. And that's just how it is. We already are 1 for 1 on Thursday. If you're not following on Pickett, follow on Pickett, because you can see all the plays and you can see our bets that we do play on there as well. But for the spread, it's 2.5. Over under 40.5. I love the Jets here. 2.5 feels fantastic. What's the play for the 3-day of road to 2? We haven't done it, so the way we're gonna do it, because JMO doesn't like to bet anything else within the NFL. So the way we decided to do it is we're gonna do just NFL days, and then we're gonna pair the NFL days for the 23K. So tomorrow we'll probably do a 9:30 game minus 500, a 1 o'clock game minus 500, and like a 7 o'clock minus game 500. Something like that is what we're probably going to try to do. Just finished working the Air Force Navy game. That's cool as shit. How was that? Seems cool as shit. Kyle, what's going on? Anyway, but I do really like the Jets in this. I think they can bounce back in a big way here after a hard loss to Denver last week. These games are always dog shit. There's a reason the over-under is only 40. In London, traditionally, all these games always go under. Like, I think it was 2 years ago or last year, it was like Jacksonville, Buffalo. The over-under was set like 48.5 because both the offenses were exploding at the time, when I think the final score was like 7-17 or some shit. Like, they just always go under. I think we're going to have a similar theme here, especially with two really good defenses and more of a game manager type quarterback situation here. Now, Darnold has been slinging the rock here. And his passing yard does feel a little low, but he's also facing the Jets, who've also so far been able to kind of stop the pass, or at least neutralize it for the most part. The one I do like, though, the play that I ironically do like, is Garrett Wilson targets. I thought on the surface level, you look at this Minnesota defense, and you're probably like, it looks really good right now. They're blitzing a ton. They're getting after the quarterback. But I think this is a perfect game script for Garrett Wilson to see peppered targets. So far, they run a ton of zone. They're not a big man team. They run a ton of the one high safety look, which is Garrett has the best win rate on the team. right? So Garrett's supposed to, if he's the highest win rate on the team, they're blitzing a lot, quick reads for Aaron Rodgers. And again, Aaron Rodgers checks everything at the line. He knows when the blitz is coming. He can see when the blitz is coming. And I don't think they're going to be doubling Garrett, as he hasn't really been a focal point of this offense yet. I think Garrett Wilson could get a ton of targets today and really get those numbers up in targets comparatively to the past few days. And again, he's coming off a game where he's against Pat Surtain, who's been locking down literally everybody. Absolutely everybody. What's going on, Luke? How you doing? I agree with that, but I think the Vikings could score multiple times. Listen, I think they could too. Hypothetically, I think they could too. I don't think this is gonna be dude stuff. Like if I were to put a score prediction on this, and this is all hypothetical, I would guess probably like 21-17, 20-14. Because these defenses are fantastic. And I get Minnesota's offense has looked fantastic. And they put up numbers on the Texans. They put up numbers on San Fran. I get that. But this Jets defense, I feel like, is better than both those defenses when they played them. Houston's defense almost feels like fucking frauds this year. Thoughts? Anyone? I thought they were going to be a lot better. But so far they haven't been. San Francisco, on the other hand, I mean, they just played an elite game. Minnesota had one of their best games, had a broken coverage play against Jay Jettis. 97 yards to Hizzy. Got to credit them where credit's due, but I think it could be a lower scoring game. If I were to lean anything in London, lower traditionally is where I would go. But again, if you really believe in Sam Darnold and this Minnesota offense, I cannot blame you. I could see a 24-17 type game. I feel like it's a 24-7. That's funny. You both just fucking commented that at the same time. Vikings secondary is solid, but I feel like they won't be able to lock him down. No, because Surtain follows him. Like, absolutely follows him the entire time. So it's a completely different scheme where the Vikings corners don't travel. And they don't run a ton of man. So they're going to be dropping back a lot. They do run a ton of zone blitzes, though. So they run a ton of, like, nickel blitzes where the corner comes off and stuff like that. What's going on, Giovanni? Was fun, pretty hot, but a fun time going to watch both teams just run triple option the whole time. Yeah, that's fucking nuts. Both those teams are just strictly run heavy. I could see, though, if we're looking at touchdowns, and I don't think they have it on UD right now. Touchdown score, low-key, I could see Brees getting into the end zone this game. I'm going to be honest, I don't have a rhyme or reason. I don't really have, like, a solid number behind it, but I just feel like he's so just, like, it's due. It's just going to happen. He's going to get in the end zone. He'll find a way. Aaron Jones, on the other hand, so far, this Jets run D hasn't been very good at all. I think Aaron Jones could be set for a pretty solid day. So if I were to lean anything for him, I probably would go over attempts. Again, I don't love the yards, but I do like the attempts. That's probably all the bets I have for this game. Oops. All the bets I have for this game. Again, this game isn't something I really want to be putting any real life savings on. Yeah, it's just kind of like disgusting. Maybe. Hey, thoughts? Low-key love it. I do too. Any of the kickers in this game I kind of would love. That's where I would lean. All right. Buffalo, Houston. I did a huge write-up, like a massive write-up if you want to go on Twitter about C.J. Stroud, and I'll read it to you, some of it to you now, mainly the focal points of this. C.J. Stroud hire is one of my locks. It's my actual play of the day. I got it at 259.5, so if you follow me on Pickett, you got it also at 259. I might have got it at 258 on Pickett. No, I got 259. 259 on Pickett. I also had the screenshot from Underdog. We can look at his props.cash right here. CJ Stroud so far this season has hit this 2 times. Now, again, Minnesota defense was very good. They didn't have a good scheme behind it. He didn't put up any points, didn't play any of the fourth quarter. That's a chalk game. Indianapolis, he was close. They went to a run-heavy script. Joe Mixon saw 30-plus carries. They didn't really need him to throw the ball. Chicago hit the over against a very tough defense, and the Jacksonville defense, he absolutely cooked. Now, with that all being said, I think C.J. Stroud could cook tonight. The Bills' defense so far has allowed the 6th fewest passing yards so far. I get that, but that's because they run a lot of too-high shell, cover 2, cover 4. They run at the highest rate in the NFL. They always have pretty much 2 safeties back there. They run it 40.6% of the time, and they've only allowed 5.4 yards per attempt. That's 3rd fewest in the league. That's what you want to see. But C.J. Stroud has faced cloud coverage, which is, again, cover 2, cover 6, cover 8. on 58% of his dropbacks this season. Now, again, if you don't know what cover 6 is, I'll quickly glance over it. It's pretty much like a deep cover 3, but shifted to the field or away from the field. So if it's a cover 6 and they're going a slice coverage, which would mean you slice it to the field or you cut it away from the field, you'll be going whichever way to the boundary of the 3 receiver side traditionally. So it's pretty much just like a deep cover 3 with one of the corners instead of like a deep safety type of thing. Anyway, so yeah, they've seen a ton of that. CJ Stroud's seen 58 dropbacks, but he's completed 33 of 50 passes versus these cloud coverage. It's 66% of his passes, and for 407 yards, that's the second most in the entire NFL. So he pretty much he cooks that cover 2, cover 6 coverage. So I think he himself and this scheme are drawn up to have a pretty big day here. Now, again, Stroud under pressure as well. Now, again, this Buffalo defense mainly runs a 4-man front. Now, with Von Miller, they got a ton of pressure. Without Von Miller, it's remained to be seen, but he under pressure so far this season has thrown for the most yards, and it's the 3rd highest completion percentage. Now, again, without Von Miller, it could look bad, right? They don't pressure a ton. They only run mainly a 4-man front. Now, the 11th lowest pressure rate at 30.3%. And Von Miller's been leading the pack so far with 11 pressures, and now he's going to be out. So we'll see how he does there when they're only rushing normally 4. Now, again, if they want to blitz CJ Stroud, he's completed plus 8.5% of under pressure passes expected. That's 4th in the NFL. So when he's getting pressured, he's completing more passes than they would expect. Based on the metrics. And the Bills have generated only 27.5% of 4-man rush drops. That's 21st in the entire league. So, again, that's pretty much the basis of my write-up. I think C.J. Stroud cooks tonight or tomorrow. I mean, and I think he 100% could have a big day. And it's definitely in the cards there. Let's read some of these comments that are coming. Aaron Rodgers' 2 passing touchdown is so free. Do the Jets have Sauce travel, or does he mainly stick to his side of the field? Traditionally, he sticks to field side. So he doesn't entirely travel. So he kind of travels, but he doesn't travel on a receiver traditionally. He travels to whichever side of the field. He covers more ground. So normally you have a field corner, boundary corner. Now you can have someone travel like a Surtain, but that doesn't happen nearly as often in the NFL. Normally because your corners are all relatively very good. But if you have an elite corner, you want to normally do the field side so he can cover more ground. That's normally where they target. Normally you want to throw the ball to the field side. Now if they have a receiver that's a strict X, kind of like Garrett Wilson, where if he were to mirror their sides pretty much, or we can even go to like a Devontae Adams, he'll probably travel to Devontae Adams more times than not, just because he's such a solid possession receiver, bigger body. You want a bigger body on a bigger body. That's traditionally the way it will go. But for a game like a game against Jay Jettas, where he normally try to have him on the field side, they're probably going to just play him to that side. Anyway, also Addison is such a good receiver. You pretty much can't just leave Addison. I mean, DJ Reed's really good too, though. So who knows? I like Addison over receiving. I also would like Addison over 2. Yeah, you two are just in sync. It's crazy. What do you think about Jay Jettas' score? I mean, he's been scoring at a high rate, obviously. I think he scored him every game. That's kind of why I want to lean his lower, but I mean, it's tough to just say he's going to keep scoring every single game, considering if we go by historical trends, he's not a big touchdown scorer, and the way he has scored has been on like insane catches that are like 3%. Only Jay Jettas can catch those balls. So we'll see really what happens. Need another lock after last week's Godwin play? No, Godwin, yeah, that was on Thursday. Last week we hit on Godwin, so that was a dub. But yeah, my lock for this week, my favorite play is probably the CJ play, I would say. But I have a few others that I really like. I don't love it. TBH probably would prefer Jones. Same here. He's also a lock always to score. How we down, says Jack. I love the Diggs revenge game angle. He seems like a guy who would feed off that. Happy Diggs is still doing well, but hate what he's done to Tank. I don't even think it's him directly to do with Tank. Tank's had the targets. He's had the air yards. It's more the fact of CJ Stroud and Tank haven't been able to connect. Now, again, Tank's also injured, so he hasn't been on the field as much either. But I think that's really where the outlier has been, is like they've had the air yards, they've had the opportunities. I mean, you saw what Tank did when Davis Mills came in the game. I don't think it's a schematic problem. I think it truly is a CJ and Tank not being on the same page problem. I think that's more where it lies right now. And also the thing with Diggs is he's such a touchdown merchant right now. Again, game 1, only 9 air yards the entire game, but scored a ton of times, so it looks good on the box score. And he's played relatively well the past 2 games as well. And again, finding the end zone helps you a ton. He seemed to do that. The revenge game narrative, I feel like he could have a big game targeting the underneath, again, because of these 2 high coverages. But I think the bigger game would probably still go to Nico Collins here, as he'll find the digs, he'll find the deep slants, he'll find the 8 routes, all that sort of stuff. But Josh Allen against this Houston defense also could be a solid play too. I was looking at that as well. But I'm definitely leaning CJ here. Kincaid versus Houston, though, actually sneaky really good value too. They've been middle of the pack versus tight ends. Anyway, and without Khalil Shakir, he could do well. Now, they've done really well against slot receivers, though. More the smaller, speedy type of guys. Again, that could be a Curtis Samuel. You could go his lower. Wouldn't mind it. But, yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on. We'll go to the next game. If I were to take a side on this from the numbers perspective, it is a 1.5. Ooh, favoring Texans at home. I think I still lean Bills. I think it's a shootout, but I still lean Bills. And again, if you're not on Underdog right now, you can make sure you get on Underdog using code BDG, because when you sign up, you'll get a free square of half a yard for Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes. Can't get much better than that. So you get a free play, get up to $1,000 as well. So you'll be set for that. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. We should be good to go. All right. Moving on to the next game. We got Baltimore and Cincy. And in this one, I also don't have any plays off the official play, the 5 official plays I have for the early slates. Let me look at the odds, though. 2.5. Over 48.5. That's high for these teams. I think I would lean the under here, simply off the fact that I think the Ravens are going to run the ball a lot. Again, choose more clock, takes more time off. I could see this being another big Derrick Henry day. Like if I were to bet anything, Derrick Henry, just feed him. Just give the ball to him. He's defied all odds from what I said the first time. I said earlier this season I didn't think he was going to get a ton of work. Thursday Night Football was disgusting. We write that off, dude. Thursday Night Football was some of the most insane shit I've ever seen. If you want to talk about Rachaad White's 9 carries for 16 yards, that's great. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. He has 1 rush for fucking 56, the longest he's had in probably fucking 30 fucking games. I was so mad. Anyway, yeah, how we feeling about 16 units on Thursday night? You went down 16 units on Thursday night? The fuck? Oh, made me about 16 units on Thursday night. Jeez. What'd you bet on Thursday night? Shakir isn't playing this week, I thought. No, he's not playing. So that's what I'm saying. He's not playing. So, again, against slot receivers, that could be Curtis Samuel this week, so I would lean his under. Keon over... Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I think they have 2 such polarizing differences. Now, again, vacated targets is still a thing. But I think those targets would go to more a Kincaid or a Curtis Samuel if they were to go to anybody. But Keon over is not bad. We want to go back to it real quick. What's his line at? 39.5. I can refresh because it's glitching out. Refresh. 40.5. I still like the over. Yeah, I would take the over there for sure. Again, suspended in the first half. Had a mid game after that. I think he could have a big game. Maybe Keon breakout game. Thoughts? Yeah, Henry yards over for show. I like his attempts or his yards. He has career long run. Yeah, no, dude, it's fucking nuts. I did like 19 bets and hit 9 of them with a couple parlays. That's fucking nuts. Sterling Shepard TD and London first TD. That's fucking gas. That's elite. Yeah. No one, anyone that says, dude, here's the thing. If you guys have seen the Idiot League Mates, shit, everybody, because we record them Thursday, like middle of the day. Everybody in those like videos always comments, oh, they didn't even, like, they're commenting about all this stuff and didn't even know Mooney was going to go off. Or Like, it was last time we recorded our, like, recap before Kenneth went off, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's coming off, like, a rib injury. First game back versus the number 1 run defense, and they're like, wow, Gut just, like, doesn't know ball. He got 33 points. It's like, brother, you're commenting on something that was recorded a day ago. That, like, I got no control. Who the fuck could have predicted that Kenneth Walker was going to do a backflip and get into the end zone 3 times versus the number 1 rush defense in the entire league? And I'm the biggest Kenneth Walker stan. Not only that, who the fuck could have predicted Kirk Cousins to throw for 500 yards in a game? Nobody. And all the comments are like, yeah, nah, I would have known that. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, 100%. Anyway, rant over. Derrick Henry higher. That's the lock. Also, Jamar Chase has done traditionally well versus Baltimore. But most of it's come outside of the pocket on scramble drills. So if that's the case, I kind of like the under on Jamar. Now, again, I have him in fantasy, and you all know I'd be probably more biased towards that side, but I think I would lean the under here if I were to do anything. He's seen the target, seen the volume. It is Jamar Chase, so take it with a grain of salt. He's done traditionally better, but the past 2 games hasn't done much. Now, again, I think this was without Joe Burrow, though. If I'm not mistaken, we can double check. We can slide through. Joey B got to be in here somewhere that I can filter. Joey B. Hello. Today could be cool. Today, dude, where the hell is Joe Burrow? Did I already pass him? I had to have. Where the hell is Joe Burrow? Oh, here it is. With Joe Burrow? No, those games were with Joe Burrow. He just sucked. That's fair enough. Respect. Yeah, last time he hit this was in January of 2023. So if I were to lean anything, it probably would be the under, unless they just scheme him super far in. I think this could be a big T game, though. Now, again, he hit this last time, but I think this could be more of a T game. He's seen a lot of receptions last game. Saw a lot of one-on-one backside. Excuse me. Which is why I like this play more. I think seeing him backside against this defense is kind of the target you want to go with. I think T could explode for a big day. So I think if you were to do anything, maybe a Jamar under, but it's scary. It's fucking Jamar Chase. So I lean probably the T over if you want to take an over for sure. Derrick Henry over, definitely lock. And Mark Andrews doesn't play snaps. So that could be an easy under. Anyway, let's keep it pushing. You see the rumors that Devontae Adams might go here? Crazy. Crazy. Cleveland, Washington, this game is ugly. This game's ugly. Yeah, Kirk over 500 is nuts. I'm an Oklahoma fan, so I had to show some love to Sterling. That's a dub. That's a dub. There are many good games with them. I wonder if the Colts receivers have changed since the A-Rod announcement. Yeah, no, I bet they have. Who do I sit? Wandale, Amari, or Worthy? A Worthy. Again, that's based off matchup plus Wandale should be peppered with targets. And if it's PPR and Amari, it has just a fantastic matchup. You just can't sit Amari Cooper when he's playing Washington. Deshaun Watson, again, remember, 1 completion away from having a massive game last game. By massive, I mean just big for Deshaun Watson. But Amari Cooper, 75 yards? Why do I keep fucking yawning? God, I got to take a nap or something. 75 yards on a callback. So if that doesn't get called back, Amari Cooper, massive day. So I think he can. His line set is 7.5 targets. They know he's going to be targeted. I think his long reception line is honestly very good. 20.5. He's seen some deep passes, seen some deep completions, and was able to move last game really well. Looked good, and I think him and Deshaun Watson are slowly getting their connection down. And now Deshaun just doesn't have fucking time. That's the only problem. That's what kind of like sucks. But I think him going higher on passing attempts feels great. Feels absolutely fantastic versus a Washington team that's just traditionally sucked against the passing game. Now, again, they did well against Kyler. When you watch back the tape, there's a lot of confusion on that Cardinals offense. They just were not on the same sync at all. I don't know if that happens again 2 games in a row. You could lean Jaden. Again, here's the thing with Jaden Daniels, right? If his receivers get stopped at the line, like they just run screens and they're only getting like 4 yards a pop, he's hitting lower every single time. He has had 2 passes this entire season. 2 over 25 air yards. He doesn't pass the ball down the field. Like, he doesn't take deep shots like he did in college. He's taken 2, both against Cincinnati. He had a fantastic game. I don't doubt that. But it's just like if his screen, like his longest pass last game was -2 air yards. because it was a swing pass, and Aaliyah Zacchaeus took it fucking 27 yards. Or I think that's who it was. How did I say it? Alameda Zacchaeus? I don't know. Off the top, I don't. But yeah, he took it like 27 yards. And that's how he gets his yards. Now, it's a great scheme. But it is sketchy versus a Cleveland team that runs a ton of man. Now, they could have a lot of broken coverages, though, because it's man and they motion a lot. So that could also be something to factor in. But yeah, if you're leaning anything, I'll go completions before I would go passing yards. But Brian Robinson, is he fucking playing? I thought he was out. Anyone? Okay, pick one. Worthy, Wicks, Downs. Oh, my God. Wicks or Downs, 100%. And probably Wicks. Scared to get anyone on the Browns offense this year. Yeah, no, it's tough. It's scary, but yeah, Jerry Jeudy's looked good, man. Jerry Jeudy's played great so far this season, and you can't knock him. Sunday take of the day, Colts money line. Daddy Flacco plays better than T-Law. Listen, Colts, we're going to get to him. It's going to be juicy. Insta picked up Downs and benched JSN with Flacco news. I don't know if I would bench JSN, but playing Downs is never a bad thing with Flacco. Cliff was like that in AZ too. I hated to watch it every Sunday. Yeah, no. It's just not like it's boring, but it's effective for right now. It's great for a rookie pretty much. It's if you're in a veteran scheme and they've seen your quarterback before and you can't run like Jaden Daniels, the scheme's very boring, but he also makes a lot of very questionable decisions in the late game. I mean, it worked out against Cincy, but it's still taking like a deep shot on fourth down and one-on-one coverage. You're truly just like trusting your fucking guys, or a flag. It's a hell of a call though. It was a gutsy call, but we take Jerome Ford over against Washington. Like it. He's seeing most of the work right now, and I think Chubb is finally practicing. Obviously, he won't play. I kind of like without B-Rob playing, taking the Eckler fantasy points. Now, again, I did like his reception line too before, but it's gone now, so we'll take fantasy points. I think he can find his way into the end zone. He's going to catch a ton of screen passes, a ton of balls, going to be involved. He's going to be that workhorse role that he doesn't want for this one game. But, yeah, where he's going to probably take over there. That's pretty much all I got. This game's kind of disgusting. I don't like either of these offenses to really from a betting perspective. So we're going to keep it pushing. Carolina, Chicago. Now, I do have a play in this game. It's not the Red Rocket. It is DJ Moore lower on receiving yards. You're going to hate me for this because it's a revenge game, but let me give you the numbies. J.C. Horn so far in coverage. Now, again, outside of that Jamar catch, that was a broken play. Or it's actually not a broken play. It was cover 2 coverage, Tampa 2 coverage. He catches a dig right on the inside, breaks 17 fucking tackles because the Panthers can't tackle, and goes 80 fucking yards, 60 yards realistically, and ends the day with 3 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. DJ Moore would have to do that probably to get this over. I think I can't airdrop it. I was going to show the Shane Waldron difference. Shane Waldron sucks, first of all. He gets his guys no real opportunities to catch deep balls. Caleb Williams is converting the fewest deep balls so far this year, which is what DJ Moore converted most of his receiving yards off of last season. 12 for 41 on pass attempts over 10 yards at 14% completion percentage above expected, which is the lowest success rate on deep attempts this season at 29.3%. Not only that, but J.C. Horn this season went in coverage that's not a cover 2 zone pretty much, or a deep cover 3. Chris Olave, 1 reception, -6 yards. Devontae Adams, 1 reception for 15 yards. Jamar Chase, 1 reception for 11 yards. The only person that caught a deep ball on him for multiple yards was Quentin Johnston on that 1-go route. And that was still a messed up coverage, but he was close enough to where he should have made a play on the ball, so I give that to him. But yeah, so 1 reception across the board for all those players, and they all were targeted a minimum of 3 times. Jay-Z's good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Panthers fan. I'm just saying, like, he's a fucking good corner. He was a lockdown in college, and it looks like he's going to be a lockdown now that he's healthy. All right, what are you guys saying? Pick one. We going C, Kirk, or Dell? Kirk. I can't see Seattle having a pass much against the Giants. Yeah, I don't think they have to, but I think they just will because Geno's going for 5K this year. Is Jaden Daniels the next RG3? He's going to hurt himself with all the running? Dude, he doesn't slide, so probably. Has your take on Leggett change? I remember draft day reaction. My take on him's not like changed in the fact of I didn't like him as a prospect. I still don't love him as a prospect. Drafting a guy he's going to be 24 by the end of the season, and he was a late bloomer in college. He's a solid receiver. He's going to be a solid 2. I don't know if he's going to be able to develop into a 1. He looks good right now because Deontay can take attention away from him. His separation is still minuscule. He's able to make a few plays that look good on tape. Sure, great. He caught a touchdown pass. That's awesome. This offensive scheme has been good. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching him play. But I don't think he's going to ever be a game breaker. I don't think he's worth trading into the first round to getting that 1 year on the extra contract as well. I mean, you could have taken, Ladd looks just fucking fantastic. And that's, realistically, if you had Ladd and Deontay on the same team right now, I'd feel way better. Now, again, we wouldn't have a big possession guy. I understand that Xavier gives us that deep field threat. But, the separation is just disgusting on both of them. And Jalen Polk looks good, but he's not someone I would have wanted. I definitely would not have wanted Worthy, as Worthy's almost every completion outside of 2 caught balls this season have been go routes from Worthy. Are you surprised? No. Anyway, I'm taking the under on DJ pretty much. This passing offense from Shane Waldron just looks bad. It looks horrible. And the Carolina's secondary hasn't been horrendous. The rushing game, on the other hand, has been horrendous, but I still don't trust DeAndre Swift at all. I think it's still going to be a split backfield. Now, again, he had a huge day last game. I get that. But I don't know if that's really going to sell you on DeAndre Swift yet this year after having one big game versus a Rams defense that is completely beat up. And again, the passing line is low for a reason. Andy Dalton's passing line feels really low. Now, again, I get it's Chicago, but I still think schematically, we fit really well against this man scheme Chicago defense as we won a ton of motion. And we run a ton of crossing routes. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, you could almost bank this is over every single fucking game, every single day of the week. He sees 13 to 15 targets a game. They're going to feed him the fucking rock. So those are the plays I like. Leaving DJ in there is a play of the day for me. So that's where we're at there. Roshan, they have his line pretty high, so they expect him to get work. But I will leave that at that. Chicago, Carolina. Now we go to Indianapolis versus Jacksonville. Joe Flackenstein. Does anyone know Travis Etienne's health update? Anyone? Deontay going for 102 tugs. I would be so happy. That would be sick. His running style is strange. Ladd just plays the game the right. Facts. Ladd just, he's the guy. Here's a guy that just plays the game the right way. I'm a little concerned with his slight stature. A.D. Mitchell? Maybe. A.D. Mitchell's done nothing. He's gotten open a few times, but he was booty butt naked on those. I don't know. I guess Xavier is fine. Anyway, move on. Eesh. Supposed to rain for the most part of before the game. I don't know if it's going to carry over, but we take Brian Thomas higher either way. Okay, that's our play right now. Again, Trevor Lawrence has attempted the 4th highest rate at downfield passes this season, 10-plus air yards this NFL season. 42.6% of passes have been down the field, but he's only completed 40% of them, which is the 10th lowest. Now, again, he's been within a few inches of Brian Thomas. I think the chemistry will be there. He missed the shot last week by literal centimeters. I think they'll get that down this week, and Brian Thomas can explode versus an Indianapolis team that allows 13.3 yards per attempt on downfield passes this season, which is the 5th most. So they allowed a ton of deep shots. He also leads all the rookies so far in deep receptions with 4 and receiving yards with 140 this season. And he's averaging 13.7 yards on his average route depth. So he's going to see a lot of deep balls. He's going to be catching a lot of deep passes. He's so good, dude. Brian Thomas is fucking great at football. He's hit this 2 or 4 games so far, averaging 68.8 yards per game. And he also has had back-to-back games of 9 targets. So he's going to probably see the volume. So we like the volume. There's no Evan Ingram, so the volume, vacated targets are still going to be there. DJ Moore, CJ Stroud. I also really like Josh Downs over receptions now. He gets pepper when Joe Flacco's on the field. Get the ball out early, often get it to Josh Downs. I absolutely love that as well, but he's not an official play, but I do love this play. Brian Thomas is going to be my official play. Trey Sermon scares the fuck out of me, as there's going to be some other bulls that just randomly get some runs like Tyler Goodson. he'll see some random ass carries. So, not loving it, but I do love Brian Thomas. I got to speed this up because I got to play Nick in for my franchise on Cancel Gaming pretty soon. So, I'll kind of start speed through a few of these so we can get through them. If I were to lean a winner here, if I were to take a winner, what's the odds on this? Odds are 3. I would take... Ooh, I'm going to take... Jacksonville's favored. 0-14 favored. I think that's for a reason. I think we're going to take Jacksonville here over Joe Flacco and the Colts. Yeah, I'm going to do it at home. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to rip that Band-Aid off. I think they get their first win. Fuck it, we ball. We're here for T-Law and the boys. We're riding on Thursdays and Sundays and Saturdays. Oh, my God, we're heading to Miami. This game is disgusting. If you're betting on this game, don't. Unders, everything. This game is horrendous. Sneaky Ramondre, they're just lighting the fire under his ass. I think he's going to get all the bulk of the work. And because Antonio Gibson is simply not built for this, you can tell by his lines not really existing. And all the betting sites have Ramondre still being the lead back, even though despite they said he's not going to be. I still think he is, and Miami gives up a ton of rush yards. Even though the first half they struggled last game, they still go up a ton of yards. I think Ramondre will be perfectly fine. I think everyone's just bitching. We can move on. That's the only over I would take in that entire game. This is scary as fuck. Big under game. What's his spread? -1.5 Miami. That's disgusting. We're going New England Patriots here to get their second dub of the year. 35.5 feels even high. I'd probably go under 35.5. All right. That's where we're at. Moving on. Arizona, San Francisco. Let's check the comments. How we doing? Speed running this bitch. Love BTJ. So do I. Higher on everything but rushing for Flacco. Flacco cooks. I agree. Both ETN are playing with shoulder injuries. Yep. He's questionable to play. He should be fine. Sherman feels like a trap for show. Facts. Javonte or Trey, half PPR. Probably Javonte this week. Bama down 14-0. Oh, dude, the trap game was so there. Are you streaming over on Kansas Gaming at all? Today is JMO will be streaming at 6 or 7 p.m. tonight, so he will be streaming on there. I did a members-only stream, so if you're a member, we did a members-only stream last night that you can watch. I think it was like a 4-hour Minecraft stream, and then we also streamed Fortnite last night as well. So if you want to catch up on either of those are there for you. It was a lot of fun, just yapping and everything and having fun with the boys. Can't bet against Danny Flacco. That's fair. That's so well. This game will set football back 100 years. Hell no, I'll take the Colts to win. That's fine. Listen, I'm not gonna not super strong on really any of these takes outside of my props. Benching Waddle for Whittington, sick of his that. I would 100% do that. I feel like this 1 week you want to go DJ Moore over. Panthers have 0 pass rush. I understand the pass rush thing. I just like Shane Waldron has yet to cook up a play where I'm like, wow, that was a really good deep field shot. And Caleb and him are not on the same page whatsoever at all. So that's like the real tough part here. No Tua. Did you make your bucket and finish your house? I did. I did make a bucket, and we finished the house. Big dubs. Anyway, moving on. I'll take New England to get their second win there. Arizona and San Francisco. Where is it? Jordan Mason, rushing yards. Jordan Mason, 7 touchdowns scored. Jordan Mason, 4 touchdowns scored. Jordan Mason to score every single possession down the field. Jordan Mason is going over 1,000%. If you look back at last year's CMAC stats, now again, he's not CMAC, but he's the closest thing we have to it. CMAC had, I think, 4 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns in games versus Arizona last year with over 200 yards in each or 180 yards in each, something like that. It's on Nick's Twitter. I can pull it up real quick. The stats, Nick posted about it the other day in talking about the, let's see if he has it here. Yeah, CMC versus Arizona last year. Game 1. 8 catches, 27 touches, 177 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 48.7 PPR points. 5 catches, 23 touches, 187 total yards, and 3 touchdowns in game 2. So, yeah. Going the fuck off. Thank you. We can go next. This fucking San Francisco team crushes Arizona. Oh, my cam froze. Oh, I don't have my fan on. Sorry, fellas. That's on me. Hold on. Oops. Uno momento, por favor. We're back. Sorry. I forgot to turn my fan on, which cools the battery pack. Also overheat and then freeze. If it freezes again, let me know. Anyway, all right. My brain really disliked betting lowers like that, but they're just as likely to happen. But I much prefer to play on a player's success. No, I agree. If that's how you feel, like that's perfectly fine. Nick just texted me, you're ready to play on Madden. What do you think the score is going to be? Final score, me versus Nick, Madden. So far in our franchise, I've yet to lose a game by outside of week 1. Week 1 was the first game where I didn't score 50. You think I score 50 or don't score 50 versus Nick? Thoughts? Vegas versus Denver. Again, another horrendous game. That is disgusting. Javonte saw 16 rush attempts last game. What was it? Batty? What's his fucking Beatty went down? We're just going to open up just a few more touches. He was being that third really annoying back in that backfield. But I think this is going to be a big Brock Bowers day. I think Brock Bowers has a big day here. So far, tight ends versus Denver have seen the most targets and the most receiving yards, mainly because that Patrick Surtain outside factor leaves a slot receiver, a inside guy to be open a lot of times. Brock Bowers should be the guy. He should see a big day today. You can go this or receptions. I like both of them. I think he's going to see the targets. I think he's going to have the receptions. I think he easily sees over the receiving yard mark. For Denver, I don't really have any plays that I really like. That's really the only play I like in this game. Let's look at the lines. Raiders plus 2.5, over under 35.5 again. Yeah, this game fucking stinks. My gut says Denver. I'm going with Denver. Oof. Gut says Denver. We're going with Denver. I said it. Confirmed it. We have the Packers next versus the Rams. I have 2 plays in this game. -3. We're taking the Packers side of things, and we're taking the over in this game as well. And we're going to talk about why. Where are the Packers at? Packers, here we are. We're taking Kyron lower. Sorry, the guy with the mental problem. I can't take a lowers, but you're going to have to take a lower. And Jaden Reed, I got it 62.5 yards. So make sure if you're on Pickett, if you're not on Pickett, use code BDGE when you sign up because you can tail me. You would have got this at 62.5 yards as well. And you would have got Kyron at 84.5 yards on the under, right? Gut? 84, yeah, and 62 yards right here, right in front of you. You would have got it, but instead, lacking. All right. But Kyron and Jaden, I feel like these are great plays. So far, we'll go over Kyron first. This line is ranked 27th so far this year as they looked, as we've seen, horrible. 27th in the league. He's just seen the crazy volume in the past 2 games. Now, again, they play good defenses, but he's hit under this line by a long shot versus Arizona and Detroit. And the Packers allow the 12th fewest rushing yards to RB so far this season. Now, that could be a big factor because the Titans game, they absolutely cooked them. Didn't really need to run the ball. But I think this could turn into a sneaky shootout where Kyron really doesn't run the ball as much. He's more a pass catcher role. Again, he saw light box last year when he exploded on 60% of his attempts, which led to easy high success rates. But that rate has dropped by 6% this season. And so far, he's generated negative 34 RYOE against light boxes in 2024, which is the second fewest in the NFL. And the Packers have utilized the light box on 57.4% of opposing runs this season, which is the 6th highest. And they've allowed 302 yards on 58 carries. So they've allowed a good amount of yards against light boxes, but Williams was also sucked against light boxes because his O-line is so bad. Now, Kyron also has had 258 yards on 73 carries this season, generating negative 43 rush yards over expected, which is the 5th worst in the entire NFL. Him and Najee Harris are sitting on a throne of just not being able to run the ball like they should. And it's not really a Kyron problem. It's an O-line problem. And that's really what we got to look at. Is this O-line is bad, and Green Bay's run defense really is pretty solid this season. And they're finally, Green Bay is getting healthy again. Jordan Love is now going to be back again. I think they kind of dominate this game. -3 feels kind of disrespectful to this Green Bay team. I get Romeo Doubs as a drama queen, but I don't think that matters. Bo is another good play. Bo Melton, he's so good. Not really. He's kind of mid, but he's better, in my opinion, of an option than Dobbs just because of his versatility. And I think he can be a very, very big game breaker in this game. Wicks also is another player I love. 7 targets feels low for him being kind of like the main guy with Jaden Reed, but we like Jaden Reed. Why do we like Jaden Reed, Gut? We'll talk about Jaden Reed. This Rams defense runs 77% of zone coverage this season. Jaden Reed is the second most yards versus zone. Jaden Reed has recorded 330 of his 336 yards versus zone coverage this season. The only person in front of him is Nico Collins. Reed has caught 16 of 18 targets against zone coverage this season, including both of his touchdowns. And when Reed is on the field, he's averaged 2 times as many yards per play. This Green Bay offense has averaged 2 times more yards per play. When he's on the field, 8.6 yards when he's on the field, 4.3 when he's off the field, and achieving a 50% success rate when he's playing, which is 17% higher success rate than when he's off the field. Pretty much bottom line, he's seeing a very high ADOT. 91% of his balls are catchable. He's cooking zone coverages. This Rams defense runs a ton of zone coverages. This Rams defense has given up massive days to slot receivers already and massive days of receivers in general. I think they do it again here today. What are y'all saying? Mental problem? Well, yeah, that's funny. Beatty pronounced like Bidet. Yeah, fuck that. That one freak one from Rashad White on Thursday Night Football, yeah, stupid. What, did someone say something? I always avoid the lowers because you can always have a crazy play. Yeah, no, you can. It's fair enough. But you also can have games where it's completely like you thought it was going to be. And then, what do the odds mean? Odds mean the way you would word odds, I guess, is the percentage of it pretty much happening. So you get a better value, a money value on a play that is less predictable to happen. So if you expect Jaden Reed to get 1 pass yard, that's going to be, you're going to make $0 from that because he's pretty much guaranteed to get it. Now, if you bet him to get 100 yards, that's not nearly as predictable. So the odds are going to be lowered. So it'll be more money that you get for that play. So if it hits, you'll get more money for that. That's pretty much how odds work. Start Safford, Deontay, or Wicks as my other super flex, with A-Rich being doubtful. Ooh, Wicks is a good play. I'm going to go Wicks. $150 would mean, like, if it's minus 150, it's, if you bet $10, you're making $5. Right? Yeah. So you need to bet $15 to make like 10. So that's pretty much what it means. It's like those odds are just pretty much like percentages of what money you're going to get back. All track, but with McVay's coaching tree doing well, does it bite teams in the butt when everyone is copying each other's schemes? No, I mean, they're each other's schemes, but they're very different at the same time. Like, you can have a different scheme, but you have the same scheme, but have like different variations of it. So like they're still different in their own sense, and they're different play calls, different ways to run it. So, yeah, Glau. How do you feel about a Wicks bet? I like Wicks on both. I think his targets would be the best bet, but if you want to go anything, I'll go yards. He's a deep field target. So that's the way I would lean. Those are my 5 plays for the early slates, early games. I didn't do anything for the Giants Seahawks. If you're going to do anything, DK to the fucking moon, Kenneth to the fucking moon. Daniel Jones, probably just under. Like, he's just going to pepper Wandale for 44 catches for fucking 10 yards. That's what we're doing. So, all right. Now the Dallas pick game. I have 3 plays for this. We'll go over them real quick as we refresh. So we're technically going to have 8 plays today. So let's end it out fast, quick. Get out of here early. The last game we have, I have George Pickens higher, cooking. Okay. Next, Najee Harris. Wow, he's up to 70 and a half. What did I get him at? Wow, dude. I got him at 64. Sheesh. 69 and a half, we'll take it. Yeah, that's high. That's high. They expect a big game. All right, we're taking the low on Rico. All right, let's run through these real quick. All right. Pretty much, Najee Harris is very simple to explain. There is no Warren. Patterson's banged up. Najee should see a ton of touches. He saw his most touches so far this season. Saw 70% of offensive snaps last game. Probably going to see something very similar to that. He's playing a Dallas run defense that has got absolutely cooked. They've allowed the 4th most rushing yards this season, the 4th most rushing yards after contact this season, and they've had the 6th most missed tackles this season, and they've also allowed the 4th most rushing yards in general this season. So they've gotten fucking cooked. They've also allowed the Opposing offenses to gain more yards than expected at 41% so far of rushes this season, which is the second highest in the NFL. And they have no Micah Parsons. They have no DeMarcus Lawrence. They have no fucking D-line. Yeah, that's, I feel like, self-explanatory in the sense. So, yeah, Glau. All right, we'll keep it pushing. George Pickens. George Pickens is going to go over. He's going to get shadowed kind of by Trevon Diggs, who I'm really not worried about in the slightest. He just got absolutely cooked by Malik Neighbors. I think it's going to be a similar story. Pickens is a very good receiver who's the elite premier possession receiver in this game. He's seeing a ton of deep targets. He's hit over this 3 of the last 4 games. And he's seen 7+ targets in every game that he's not playing Pat Surtain. And he's had 5+ receptions in every game that he's not playing Pat Surtain. Now, again, this defense has no pass rush. They have no DeMarcus Lawrence. They have no Micah Parsons. So Fields should have all the time to throw the ball. Pickens should see a few deep shots. And Pickens has caught 6 of his 13 targets that are sub 50% completion probability. So they're bad throws that he's absolutely coming down with, which is the 4th most in the entire league, and his yards are the 7th most. Now, since entering the league in 2022, he's had the 2nd most receptions under that category, and the first most receptions and the 2nd most yards. Sub under 50% probability. So he's making these acrobatic, crazy catches all the time. The only person that's doing it better is Justin Jefferson. So he's in a kind of elite company in that sort of a sense, and I think he continues to do that this weekend. And he should absolutely cook Dallas this week, who Fields should have a ton of time. He could also go over, so I also would like that play as well. And to finish it out with Rico Dowdle to go under 40.5 rushing yards. Yeah, Glow. Pretty much what this is going to be is he's playing Pittsburgh defense. I could pretty much stop it right there and say, yeah. Pittsburgh's winning this game, by the way. That's who I'm taking out, right? Pittsburgh money line. But Dallas is going to, Dallas under 40.5 rushing yards. He saw more attempts last game, but he's still going to be affected by Zeke. And he's still just playing inefficiently. The Cowboys have an expected gain of 4.6 yards per carry, which is the 3rd most in the NFL. Expected gain. The holds are there. But they've generated the 2nd fewest rushing yards over expected, which is at negative 82. So they are pretty much getting cooked, and they've also had the 2nd fewest yards after contact. And the Steelers have allowed the 2nd fewest rushing yards on designed runs this season, and the 4th fewest rushing yards in general. Rico's playing with the best defense in football. He's going under. So that's what I like. Those are the 8 plays. We can scroll through them real quick. And Najee higher, Rico lower, George Pickens higher, Jayden Reed higher, Kyron lower, Brian Thomas higher, DJ Moore lower, CJ higher. If you missed any of these plays, I just put out a video with all of these plays. If you guys missed it, it literally just dropped before the live stream. So if you want to go back and watch that and get all the explanation, all the numbers, all the details, if you want, also I'm putting them out on Twitter throughout the day today and later tonight, where I'll have all the write-ups for them so you can see the numbers behind them. So have all those right in front of you. No way Pitt doesn't win. Facts. Dallas can't run for shit. Dallas is also going to be just cooked on the offensive end of things. So that's what we're doing. That's how we're rocking. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I love all you guys. And I will catch all of you guys next time for Monday night stream. Where I'll see you guys there to prep for Monday night. That's Chiefs Saints. So I'll see you guys then. Appreciate you guys as always. Make sure to leave a subscribe or a like on the way out if you haven't